From the Stroh Center in Bowling Green, Ohio, we bring you NCAA men's basketball as the Bowling Green Falcons welcome in the Eagles of Florida Gulf Coast. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us alongside Bowling Green student Adam Gaw. I'm Brad Woznicki. This is the fourth edition of the Bill Frack Challenge, and like every year for Bowling Green, this is a challenge going up against a Florida Gulf Coast team that is very capable of scoring a lot of points, and Bowling Green, a very young team, going up against an experienced team.
Bowling Green with 6 freshmen, 5 of them true freshmen, and they're really getting thrown into the fire tonight against a Florida Gulf Coast team that has 4 juniors and 4 seniors on that squad.
And Florida Gulf Coast already predicted to be in the NCAA tournament once again this season, and a big reason why is the leadership of Brandon Goodwin, averaging 18.5 points per game. He has all of the accolades. Last year, first team all-conference selection. He was the tournament MVP, and he comes into this year as the preseason player of the year.
Well, he was the leading scorer for this team last year. Not only that, but he set a single-season program record for points scored, 629. And he contemplated putting his name into the NBA draft this past offseason, but he ultimately decided to come back for his senior year, and there's no signs of him slowing down.
Very capable of scoring the basketball in a lot of ways, including from long range. Last year, he made 55 threes. Now for the Bowling Green Falcons, they're coming off a home opening loss to South Dakota. 88-79 was the final in that one. But one of the bright spots for the Falcons was the play of Dylan Fry. He finished with 23 points, including 5 made threes, which was a career high.
Well, he's really made his way into the starting lineup. He made 15 starts last year in their 32 games. And if Bowling Green is going to be able to topple Florida Gulf Coast tonight, they're going to need his three-point playmaking abilities tonight. 7 of 14 so far in the season.
For more on the sophomore Dylan Fry, here's Caden Albanese.
Coming into the third game of the season, you are such a young team, third youngest team in the nation. What have you guys learned about yourselves so far?
Mostly to come together and be a family, and then when we get out on the court, just bring the most energy we can and just play together.
Tonight's the Bill Frack Challenge, and it truly is a challenge you guys like to have this early in the season. Tonight is Florida Gulf Coast University. Talk about the matchup.
Well, they're a really good team, but I think we're better than them, and I think we're going to come out and we're going to get the W, most important.
Florida Gulf Coast is scoring 92 points per game. You guys are allowing 78.5 per game. What is the defensive matchup game plan tonight? What are you guys trying to do to slow them down and get better tonight?
Well, that's our biggest key, is to play defense, hold them under their limit. We have to hold them under 70-something points so we could get the W.
And how are you going to get over 70 points if you hold them under 70?
Yeah, get stops, get out in transition, move the ball, share the ball with our team, and just make shots.
Thank you. Back to you, Brad.
Thank you, Caden. We'll have the starting lineups and the tip-off when we return here on ESPN. Inside the Stroh Center for Saturday night men's college basketball as Bowling Green takes on Florida Gulf Coast. The Eagles coming in with a record of 2-0 so far. They've got wins over Illinois State and Siena. For Bowling Green, a record of 1-1 with a win over Drexel and a loss to South Dakota. As you look at the Eagles starting lineup, all upperclassmen, 3 seniors, Brandon Goodwin, along with Christian Terrell and Travius Simmons. Those 3 seniors, and you see the size there for Florida Gulf Coast, down low, 6'9" and 6'10" between Simmons and Doyle. Now for the Bowling Green Falcons, we talked about it, a very young team. Only 1 upperclassman in the starting lineup, and that is DiMaggio Wiggins, but Derek Koch very impressive in the home opener with a double-double, 15 points and 14 rebounds. And we'll look to see what Justin Turner does in this game after he opened the season with 33 points against Drexel and then was limited to just 6 points against South Dakota. It's Doyle and Wiggins to get this one underway. And the Eagles win the tip. Florida Gulf Coast coming in number 12 in the collegeinsider.com mid-major poll. And they start the game with a turnover, something they had a little too much of in the game against Siena. Yes, it was a dominant victory, 86-53 the final, but the Eagles had 21 turnovers. Here's Koch up top, and Wiggins trying to post up inside. It will be a foul called against Doyle. As you look at Florida Gulf Coast head coach Joe Dooley in his 5th season as the head coach of the program, has 150 wins as a head coach. Started his career as a head coach at East Carolina. He also coached as an assistant at Kansas. And quickly the other way, Zach Johnson gets it started for the Eagles.
Zach Johnson just tore through that 3-man defense that Bowling Green had on their own side on the fast break.
Now looking inside, Fry trying to find Wiggins. And Turner stepped out of bounds.
3 fouls to start off the game here in the opening minute.
Look at the last game against Siena for Florida Gulf Coast. They had 4 players in double figures. As you just got to look there at Bowling Green head coach Michael Huger, now in his 3rd season as the head coach of the program. Former assistant at Miami and George Mason.
He's got a lot of defensive background to his resume, so it'll be interesting to see how they can defend this Florida Gulf Coast offense tonight.
And Dylan Fry got a good look off the pump fake. Now here's Goodwin trying to take it all the way. And we've got 2 shots coming up.
Looked to me like he did a pretty good job to draw the foul there. But he was almost able to take that all the way to the bucket, just like the last one.
Goodwin at the line. And no problem on the first. Brandon Goodwin named to the Lou Henson Award watch list.
12 for 15 on the season coming into this game on the free throws.
And 1 for 2 on that trip. Offensive rebound by Doyle. And a good, strong move from Ricky Doyle, the transfer from Michigan. He came over in May of 2016. One of several transfers on this Florida Gulf Coast team. Wiggins inside. And the hook shot goes over top Simmons. DiMaggio Wiggins was limited in the home opener, played just 19 minutes. A turnover for the Eagles. Bowling Green will get it back with a 1-possession game.
Yeah, talked about transfers just a minute ago, and Brandon Goodwin, we talked about him in the pregame. He's a transfer, too, from Central Florida coming into the school.
Turner on the drive baseline. The reverse goes. That was a pretty move from Justin Turner. The 33 points that he had against Drexel was the most from a Falcon since Spencer Parker scored 33 on December 12th of 2015. And it's Doyle again at the other end.
And Turner was able to do it in his very first game.
And Justin Turner missed most of last season because of injury. And Wiggins inside trying to post up. It's a foul against Simmons. And checking in for the Eagles will be number 13. That is Rayshawn Scott Jr., the sophomore from Compton, California. Here's Koch. Finds Rod Caldwell. Caldwell draws some contact, and then the help side came with Scott. Christian Terrell to the basket. Got it to go against Wiggins.
Florida Gulf Coast taking every chance they get at the fast break. Every chance.
This kind of up-tempo style of play, you can see why they're one of the higher scoring teams. 92 points a game through the first 2 games.
We get our first steal of the game right there from Simmons.
Now inside, good position and off glass. That looked easy for Antrevious Simmons. Simmons, coming out of high school, was rated the 25th best center in the nation for the class of 2013 by ESPN.com. He started his career at VCU. Now Caldwell up top. He'll fire the 3. Good. 4-point game. And trying to get it inside. Goodwin can't connect with Simmons. A little frustrated with himself after that turnover.
Maybe he wanted to call there. Not sure what it was.
And Joniah Gadsden has just checked in for Bowling Green. Wiggins to the bench. Joniah Gatson, you see right there, appeared in USA Today's high school sports coverage after shattering a backboard during an AAU practice.
Pretty hard to do.
I'm sure that made Shaquille O'Neal proud. Dylan Fry, well defended. Caldwell again, this time off the iron and rebounded by Scott. Good one the other way. Tough shot, didn't matter.
I think they need to try to work to get Dylan Fry try to get him the ball on the three-pointer.
We've got Denaro Mercurius guarding Fry right now. Mercurius with good length. As Bowling Green turns it over, and checking in will be Daquan Plowden.
Already got 5 turnovers here between the two teams.
13-7 your score. Now Scott gives it back to Goodwin. Looking for a driving lane, gets to the basket, and Gatson got a hand on it off of Goodwin. And that will take us to our first media timeout. Florida Gulf Coast on the road, off to a strong start, leading by 6. And Rod Caldwell firing from long range early. Florida Gulf Coast 13, Bowling Green 7, with just over 4 minutes gone by here in the first half. Brad Woznicki, Adam Gaw here with you.
Bowling Green hasn't had the lead at any point so far.
Dylan Fry gets the high screen. Fry to the basket, tried to spin it off the window, no good.
Florida Gulf Coast with 10 of their points in the paint tonight so far.
Christian Carlisle now on the floor for Florida Gulf Coast, along with Brian Thomas. And losing the basketball there was Scott. Here's Fry in transition. Too hard off the glass. And a loose ball. Diving on it. And the possession arrow to Bowling Green, but first, looks like Florida Gulf Coast got a timeout.
I think Rayshawn Scott was trying to do a little too much there, going to the basket.
So this will be a 30-second timeout for the Eagles. Look at Bowling Green's last game against South Dakota. We mentioned 88-79 was the final. That was just the second meeting all time between the two teams. Both have now been won by the Coyotes. South Dakota really got the job done in the second half. They went into the locker room trailing by just 1. Second half from long range, they were 8 of 14, led by Matt Mooney. And also they had the advantage on points in the paint, 38-26. If Florida Gulf Coast has a big night on points in the paint like they have throughout their recent years, Bowling Green's going to be in trouble.
Oh, yeah, and Bowling Green against South Dakota, they had the lead for over 27 minutes. So they're going to have their hands full with this Florida Gulf Coast offense, like we mentioned earlier.
Florida Gulf Coast led the country in points in the paint per game last season, that better than 41 points a game, finishing just ahead of Utah and North Carolina. There's the shot no good up top, and then underneath they're going to call Gatson for the foul. Not much of an argument there from Joniah Gatson. And returning for the Eagles, be Zach Johnson along with Antravius Simmons and Ricky Doyle.
Looks like Goodwin will go to the bench.
Baseline drive swatted by Gatson. For Gatson, that is his second block of the game, but now going to be whistled for the technical foul because of the reaction right at the end of this. He bumped right into Christian Carlisle. And that's just the emotion from the freshman that he's going to have to contain here at the college level.
Well, going up against juniors and seniors, I'm sure they know how to press buttons on these young players.
And it's also when you're coming into a big matchup like this, anytime you make a block like that, you're trying to get your team into it.
Certainly. And this is a learning experience for this team.
And the first free throw is good on the technical for Zach Johnson, the redshirt junior from Miami, Florida. Johnson, preseason all-conference selection. And he's 2 for 2. 8-point advantage now for the Eagles.
It's been Florida Gulf Coast for almost every single point of this game so far.
Mercurius off the screen. And Bowling Green going to be whistled for another foul. Bowling Green bench thought it was a turnover on the Eagles. As DiMaggio Wiggins will return, Janiah Ganson will get a hand as he goes to the bench. And Doyle has position inside. The Eagles unable to get it to him, though. Johnson just didn't see it. Now Johnson, nice move. Unable to draw iron, and Wiggins corrals it. Now Turner behind the back. Justin Turner all the way, trying to dump it down to Wiggins. It will stay with Bowling Green.
That was a pretty behind-the-back move there. Just couldn't take it all the way to the bucket.
And Christian Terrell back into the game. Christian Carlisle to the bench. Now Fox off the screen, blocked by Terrell. Matt Fox, the lone senior on this Bowling Green team. Mercurius inside. Fox read the pass. Now Cummings finds Turner. Inside, and Plowden was blocked from behind and kept in bounds as well.
I think Terrell might have got another block there.
Terrell inside, Doyle. Second chance. Nice up and under. You can count that baby in a foul. Double-digit lead now for the Eagles. As Dylan Fry will check in for Justin Turner.
Florida Gulf Coast with their biggest lead now at 8 points. Have a chance to extend it here.
Ricky Doyle, during his time at Michigan, played in 67 of a possible 68 games and averaged almost 5 points a game and 2.5 rebounds a game. Eagles by 11. 6 minutes gone by. Now Fox finds Fry. One-on-one in the post. Wiggins backing his way in. Strong move. And much needed for Bowling Green. Maggio Wiggins now up to 4 points.
So far for Florida Gulf Coast, they've been pretty evenly distributed as far as points scoring are concerned.
And diving on the floor is Simmons. And possession arrow to Bowling Green. Falcon faithful applauding that effort. We'll see if the Falcons can cut into the lead a little more now.
Florida Gulf Coast having a huge edge in the rebounds. 12-3. Including 8 on the defensive side.
Nelly Cummings, three-time All-State selection after averaging 29 points per game his senior year and 4 assists a game.
Look, Dylan Fry's direction wasn't open.
Plowden baseline jumper. Off the iron, and Simmons unable to come down with it. See if Bowling Green can capitalize off the second chance.
Simmons has had a bit of a tough time handling the ball early.
Cummings to inbound. Finds Fry off the screen. Oh, pump fake, and Johnson coming down on top of Fry. Fortunately, they're both players okay. Look at this pump fake one more time.
Went right over top of him.
Don't often see when you pump fake like that, spinning back away from the basket like Fry did there. Definitely caught Johnson off guard as Plowden tries the three, and it's good. Bowling Green's second three. The first came from Caldwell. Two-possession ball game. Terrell, good look to Doyle. Well short on the three, and it's one and done.
Bowling Green with a chance to make a run now.
Fry's got a mismatch. Inside Wiggins. Wiggins against Doyle. Blocked.
I think that was Goodwin with the block there.
Goodwin off glass, so the defense from Doyle, the offense from Goodwin. Inside of 12 to play in this first half. Cummings finds Fry. Baseline drive, and he lost it. But a blocking foul is called, so free throws for Dylan Fry when we return. The Eagles in front, 20-12. Saturday night college basketball. And DiMaggio Wiggins trying to go hard in the post. Good defense from Doyle, and Goodwin at the other end. Welcome back to Bowling Green, where Florida Gulf Coast continues to lead this ball game. 20-12 your score right now. And Dylan Fry headed to the line after drawing some contact on a baseline drive just before the media timeout. And Dylan Fry, so far this season, 5 of 7 at the charity stripe. Trying to get it back to a 2-possession game. And the first one drops. And 2 for 2.
Make that 7 for 9 on the season.
You know this game's going to have a little more meaning behind it for Dylan Fry as a native of Florida.
Certainly.
And inside, Simmons. Another high percentage look for Florida Gulf Coast. It's back to an 8-point game. Now Wiggins up top, over to Fox. And knocked out of bounds, Johnson. Zach Johnson, twice named the Atlantic Sun Player of the Week last season. And Cummings, it's going to be a blocking foul. That will be team foul number 5 for Florida Gulf Coast. Each team now with 5.
Looked like that was Rashawn Scott that got the blocking foul.
And they are confirming who was the foul against. And yes, my partner was correct. It was against Scott. Ellie Cummings' first free throw. Hard off the iron. Cummings, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Player of the Year in the 2016-2017 season. Final year of his high school career. Trying to split the pair now. And he does, 22-15.
That'll make him 3 for 4 on the season. But the free throw line.
Johnson guarded by Fry, gives it up. Now inside. And that's an and one. And Travius Simmons off the post-to-post screen had great position. And that's a story for Florida Gulf Coast so far in this game. As you get one more look at it, they are down low on the block every time, and with that size, that's tough to stop.
Well, Simmons struggled earlier to handle the ball, but as of recent, he's been on a score and run himself.
And can't complete the three-point play. Stays a single-digit lead for now. Fry with the handles. Comes up short. And here's Goodwin.
It's a fast break by Gulf Coast.
And underneath, good defense by Bowling Green in transition. As Turner and Caldwell quickly to the scores table.
First time in a while we've seen Gulf Coast run the fast break, which is what they tend to enjoy doing on the offensive side.
Brian Thomas, a 6'9" forward from Georgia, has just returned. Johnson looking for a teammate. And Goodwin comes down with it. Johnson behind the back against Turner. Baseline jumper, no. Offensive rebound. Fry never got a body on Carlisle. Turner at the other end. Short. And here comes Goodwin. The Eagles 3-on-2. Scott off glass and good. Largest lead for the Eagles. And Bowling Green wants to talk things over. Just over 10 minutes remaining in this first half. Florida Gulf Coast 28, Bowling Green 15. One more look. The offense in transition for the Eagles. So far, you have Ricky Doyle continuing to lead the way in scoring with 7 points. And then for Bowling Green right now, you have DiMaggio Wiggins leading the way with 4.
It's been all Florida Gulf Coast so far.
Bowling Green at 1 point, trailed by 11. They got the lead down to 6. And Florida Gulf Coast right now on a 10-4 run.
And Simmons able to make his mark on the game in a positive way now. 6 points now for Simmons.
Here's Turner on the left wing. Koch. And Turner baseline. And a blocking foul. That's become a call that's been pretty familiar for Florida Gulf Coast so far in this game as Bowling Green continues to attack. Justin Turner, so far this season, 6 of 9 at the free throw line. And no good on the first.
He was able to impress everybody in the first game of the season. 33 points in his very first collegiate game. But he only scored 6 in the last game versus South Dakota.
And he splits the pair. Here's Carlisle on the wing. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Terrell looking for a driving lane. Turner came over to help, and it's a turnover.
This is Turner with the steal.
Plowden. And Daquan Plowden headed to the line. Plowden has only shot 1 free throw this season.
And he missed that one.
Seven team fouls now on the Eagles. And no problem on the first for Plowden. Daquan Plowden became the first men's player at Mastery Charter North to score over 1,000 career points. He averaged 16 points a game as a senior. He was a 2-time All-State performer.
6'6", 175-pounder from Philadelphia.
And 1 for 2. Eagles by 11. Johnson to the basket. Well defended. And Turner behind the back again. Heard some ooze from the crowd on that one as he couldn't finish. The tip wouldn't go. One more time. Derek Koch finishes it off. Derek Koch got off to a quick start in the game against South Dakota. And at the other end, that's a flush for Brady Ernst.
First dunk of the night for Dunk City.
Back to an 11-point game. Turner tried to slip it inside, and Johnson was all over that pass. Goodwin fading away. On the backside, Fry's got it. Dylan Fry, pull up off the iron.
On Florida Gulf Coast last possession, I saw head coach of Bowling Green Hugers throw his arms up in the air like, what are you guys doing?
Here's Fry taking this one himself. Blocked, and then Carlisle finishes off the play. Johnson now inside, and a blocking foul called against Koch, and not going to count the basket. Media timeout. Florida Gulf Coast maintaining a double-digit lead, 30-19 your score. And we'll be back here on ESPN. From Brady Ernst. And it's Brady Ernst at the line. And no good on the front end. Fox over to Turner. Bowling Green works it around to Caldwell. Cummings back to Turner. And the pull-up, no good. Here's Terrell. He'll give it up to Goodwin. Mercurius gives it up. Carlisle with the left hand, no. And Koch the rebound. Turner. Good, that's a three. And Bowling Green needed that to get it back to a single-digit lead.
Bowling Green now has shot 3-point. Has now shot a three-pointer 6 times tonight. They made 3 of them. Florida Gulf Coast has not made any of their 4 3-point tries.
Mercurius answers that. First 3 of the night for the Eagles. Denaro Mercurius, the redshirt junior from Orlando, Florida. Caldwell, good. 9-point game, 6.5 to play in this first half. And Johnson headed to the scores table. Didn't look like Coach Dooley was happy with the defensive effort on that last possession. Goodwin wants the screen. Now the crossover, and good look. Mercurius again. This time off the iron, and a shove in the back as Koch was going after the rebound. Bowling Green basketball. And Koch will be headed to the line.
Bowling Green's only 8 for 25 on field goal attempts. And Florida Gulf Coast, they're above 500, 14 for 27. And Bowling Green so far has had majority success in the free throw game tonight.
5 of 8 so far. And good on the front end for Derek Koch, coming off the 15 points and 14 rebounds against South Dakota. He's the state of Ohio's all-time leading rebounder in high school basketball history. Played his high school ball at Northwestern, where he finished as the all-time leader in points, rebounds, and assists.
Northwestern High School in West Salem, Ohio.
Johnson guarded by Caldwell. Over to Johnson on the right wing. Bowling Green trying to pack it in the paint. Terrell from the elbow. And that was a great defensive possession for the Falcons. Turner. Good job by Johnson to stay in front. Fox. 10 on the shot clock. Caldwell, 3. And no good. Koch underneath, and it's going to be a foul against the Eagles. That's number 9. One thing you'll notice about Derek Koch as Brian Thomas returns for the Eagles, despite being just a freshman, you watch him out there on the floor, he is very confident in his skills, very aggressive underneath. Still got some work to do on his post moves, but with his length, he's got a bright future. And we've got a 5-point game. Nice run here from Bowling Green. Carlisle on the wing. Carlisle in the paint. And no good. Turner with the rebound.
Florida Gulf Coast has been struggling as of late, even with their layups.
Turner at the other end, no good. Rebounded by Thomas. Bowling Green had an opportunity to get it back to a one-possession game. Now Terrell at the other end. Florida Gulf Coast just so good in transition.
So good in the paint. That's where a lot of their points have been coming from, is in the paint.
Christian Terrell, former high school teammate of Grayson Allen. And for those of you that love college basketball, you'll remember Grayson Allen and what he did against Michigan State recently with a career-high 37 points. And no good. Bowling Green trying to run. Fry at the scores table now. He is joined by Jeffrey Uju. Near Bowling Green turnover. Caldwell, step back. Good. Back to a 5-point game.
13-point lead down to 5.
And a bad turnover on the inbounds for the Eagles. We have our final media timeout of the first half, and Bowling Green moving the basketball. Rod Caldwell, pull-up jumper there. Then in transition, Justin Turner, corner 3. .30 your score. Bowling Green on an 8-2 run, and with the basketball, Matt Fox on the wing, gives it up to Uju. Jeffrey Uju just checked in during the last media timeout. As Rod Caldwell heating up. He now has 9. He's got that capability.
What was a 13-point lead for Florida Gulf Coast is now a one-possession game.
Johnson, Goodwin, 3, short, and Fry the rebound, but a foul is going to be called against Uju. Bowling Green cannot believe that call. Looked like Uju had good position.
Head coach Michael Huger having a word with the official there.
It's Brian Thomas at the line. And Thomas good on the front end of the 1-and-1. Bowling Green will be in the double bonus on the next foul. One more look. I don't know if that warranted a call there. Like two guys just battling for the basketball. Thomas, 1 for 2. And Fry is fouled at the other end. Bowling Green so far 9 of 12 at the charity stripe compared to 4 of 7 for the Eagles. And off the iron on the first. Ernst will return along with Carlisle.
Fry has only 2 points on the night so far, both of them coming on free throws.
And that's not the worst situation for Bowling Green to have Fry be limited so far in scoring and still be right in this ball game. And you're going to need an entire team effort, and Bowling Green knows that at the offensive end.
And so far for Bowling Green, it's been Caldwell who's been the leading scorer with 9.
Open look for Mercurius, and miscommunication on the defensive end for Bowling Green led to a good look. That's the second for Mercurius. Fry to Caldwell. Guarded by Goodwin. Dumps it inside, and Uju is swatted from behind, but it's going to be 2 shots. Looked like Carlisle may have got just enough of the arm. One more look. Great vision by Caldwell there to find Uju.
Great defensive effort regardless.
Jeffrey Uju only played in 2 games last season due to injury. Played his sophomore year of college at Western Texas College. Averaged 7 points and 5.8 rebounds a game.
Went to Oak Hill Academy in Bolingbrook, Illinois.
Again, if you know high school basketball, you know all about Oak Hill Academy and the premier players that have come through that school. There's a layup at the other end for Zach Johnson. Turner, good.
Haven't seen too many fast breaks for Bowling Green tonight, but so far they've been pretty successful when they do one.
Just over 2 to play in this first half. Johnson had it stripped by Uju. 3-on-2, Caldwell. Off the iron, tipped out, and Turner has it. Fry, corner 3, no good. And Dylan Fry called for the blocking foul. Team foul number 9. After that last 3-point attempt from Fry, Bowling Green now 3 of 8.
Florida Gulf Coast 5 for 9 tonight on free throws.
And Goodwin knocks down the first. Second free throw, no problem.
Puts him 3 of 4 on the night on the free throw.
Here's Fry over to Turner, right back to Fry. Plowden has 1-3. No good there. Backside board for Uju. And more free throws for Dylan Fry.
Wasn't a whole lot of contact there.
This has definitely been a tightly officiated game. Knocks down the first. And checking in for Florida Gulf Coast is Darnell Rogers. Darnell Rogers at just 5'2" is the smallest Division I player in the nation. The next smallest player is Mount St. Mary's Junior Robinson at 5'5". Rogers is believed to be the smallest scholarship D1 men's basketball player in history.
Pretty good accomplishment.
Mercurius in the paint and throws it away. Uju did not come over to help. Didn't need to. Here's Uju, right back to Turner. Inside of a minute to play in this first half. Turner looking for a lane. The runner. Follow-up from Daquan Plowden. That got the crowd on their feet.
Bowling Green's first dunk of the night. Probably would get them on their feet.
Showing Dunk City how it's done.
Unexpectedly.
And Goodwin lost his footing. Bowling Green basketball. And the Falcons can hold for the final shot of the first half.
Just 29.5 seconds to go. And it's only a one-possession game with a two-time defending NCAA tournament participant.
(43-40) your score. Florida Gulf Coast has led this entire first half. Caldwell guarded by Rogers.
Milking the clock.
Down to 5 seconds. Caldwell unable to draw iron. And the heave from Carlisle is off the mark. And Bowling Green closing out the first half strong. It's just a one-possession game after 20 minutes of play. And one more look. Turner the miss. Daquan Plowden the follow. Halftime here in Bowling Green with the Falcons trailing Florida Gulf Coast 43-40. Just the second home game of the season for the Falcons. And in a moment here, we will take a look at the first half highlights. And early on, Florida Gulf Coast in transition, having a lot of success. Rod Caldwell for Bowling Green got the long-range game started right there.
Well, Florida Gulf Coast, they made their name on the offensive side of the ball. And so far tonight, they've been struggling to get the field goals down. They're just 17 of 35 compared to Bowling Green's 12 for 37.
Well, most coaches will live with 48% shooting on the road, and getting high percentage looks like that. Simmons inside, a lot of just easy layups. Bowling Green, three-point shooting in that first half. 3 of 10 from long range. You saw one there from Turner. And Rod Caldwell started to take over in that first half.
It was Daquan Plowden who was able to get the dunk to get the crowd on their feet. And for Bowling Green, they have a 25-15 run in the final 10 minutes of this half.
Another jumper there from Caldwell. Those are your first half highlights. We've got plenty more to come here on ESPN. Rod Caldwell leading all scorers at halftime with 9 points. He is 4 of 9 from the field as Bowling Green has it at just a one-possession game after 20 minutes of play. And for more on tonight's game, standing by is Caden Albanese.
Entering his third season as Bowling Green head coach, Coach Michael Huger is leaving his mark on this roster. 9 of the 14 players on this Bowling Green roster were recruited by Coach Huger and his staff.
I think it's very important for our program that, number one, we find high character guys that are good students and obviously that are really good at basketball, that have really good attitudes, that are about team first. I think we've done a pretty good job of bringing the guys in here that are about that are about the team first, guys that are high character, guys that really believe in school and guys that take school seriously. And now it's our challenge to piece it all together. I think our staff has just done a good job of working at it. You know, we've just been on the road constantly. We've developed really good relationships in our state. We've developed some good relationships within Florida and Philadelphia as well. And that's the main thing, just building relationships. The kids earn our trust. They feel comfortable with myself and our staff. And then we just kind of take it from there. And then BG's got a great, it's a great chance for opportunity.
The signing period for this year ended on Thursday. Now coaches will have to wait until April to sign any more players. Back to you, Brad.
All right, thank you, Caden. And yes, I can say this. I had the opportunity to go to basketball camp when Anthony Stacy was back in his playing days. Always enjoy Coach Stacy here as a part of Michael Huger's staff. And we'll take a look at some of the first half numbers when we return here on ESPN. Welcome back to Bowling Green. 43-40 your score. The two teams back on the floor and getting ready for the second half. And a look now at the first half numbers. Florida Gulf Coast shooting nearly 50% from the field. Bowling Green at 32%. The Eagles also with the advantage on the glass. And free throws, Bowling Green has gotten there 18 times. They're 13 of 18 right now. And Adam, take us through the individual scoring leaders for Florida Gulf Coast.
Well, it'll be a tie for first place between Brandon Goodwin and Ricky Doyle. They both have 7 points in the first half.
And you have 3 players tied with 6 for the Eagles. And for Bowling Green, we mentioned Rod Caldwell leading the way with 9 points on 4 of 9 shooting. Justin Turner, 8 points on 3 of 8 shooting. And you also have Derek Koch, 6 points and 7 rebounds. Maybe another double-double for Derek Koch. We'll have to wait and see. Second half coming your way on ESPN. Florida Gulf Coast has won 10 straight road games, the second longest road winning streak behind Gonzaga. The Zags right now at 11. As we start the second half, Brad Woznicki and Bowling Green student Adam Gaw here with you. Now inside, Simmons against Koch. And off the mark, well defended.
Didn't even touch the rim on that one.
Koch inside for Fry, and Simmons got his hand on it. It will stay with Bowling Green.
Well, Bowling Green in the first half, they knew they had a challenge with this Florida Gulf Coast offense, and they've been able to go almost head-to-head with them. 40 points in the first half for Bowling Green.
Florida Gulf Coast has led by as many as 13 in this game. One thing Bowling Green has done to start to limit Florida Gulf Coast is they're not giving the Eagles as many high percentage looks down low. The Falcons have started to tighten things up in the paint as DiMaggio Wiggins will step to the line. Wiggins in the first half, 7 minutes of action. He was 2 of 4 from the field and had a pair of rebounds.
Well, I think another key stat for Bowling Green, making it as tight as it's been, is that they've been able to get 10 points off of Florida Gulf Coast turnovers.
DiMaggio Wiggins knocking down the first. The free throw shooting is an area that he has really worked hard on. Smooth on the first. Former Springfield Blue Devil. And 1 for 2. Good box out by Doyle. Two-point game. Corner 3. Off the iron and goes over top the backboard. Now a three-pointer, and Bowling Green could have their first lead of the night. Florida Gulf Coast 2-0 on the season with wins over Illinois State and Siena. Bowling Green 1-1. And DiMaggio Wiggins with the flush. He'll go to the line to try and complete the three-point play.
Able to get the crowd on their feet here in Northwestern Ohio.
I think Bowling Green now has the advantage on dunks tonight against Dunk City.
What does that say?
They're going to the basket strong. Not backing down from the size of this Florida Gulf Coast team. And DiMaggio Wiggins completes the three-point play. Falcons by 1.
Their first lead at any point in this game. They've been able to tie it a couple of times, but they have never once had the lead until now.
Here's Goodwin in the paint. Fading away, knocks it down. That was not an easy shot as Caldwell lost his footing. And he gets the timeout. 18:32 remaining in this ball game. It's the Eagles by 1. And we have a full timeout. We'll be back in a moment here on ESPN.
BGSU is recognized for our strong commitment to engaging students in their education. And Bowling Green is one of the best college towns in America. This is a place where you can stand out. Come to one of the nation's top public universities and choose a program that fits you.
Three-point play gave Bowling Green their first lead of the night at 44-43. Then Brandon Goodwin came back and answered the jumper in the paint to put the Eagles back in front. What a ball game we have had so far.
Much tighter than expected, and Bowling Green's offense able to be on the pretty much on the same level as Florida Gulf Coast, one of the top scoring teams in the country.
Under head coach Joe Dooley, when the Eagles are leading at the half, they have a record of 70-4. Here's Dylan Fry up top. Now Koch lobs it inside for Wiggins. Finishes with the left hand. Beautiful entry pass. That's post to post right there. You can't ask for more. Terrell gives it over to Goodwin. Johnson splits the defense. Comes up short. Doyle offensive board. Draws three defenders. Goodwin. Wide open look. And no good for Terrell.
In a game as tight as this, you got to make those wide open three-pointers.
Florida Gulf Coast now 2 of 9 from long range. Inside Wiggins against Doyle. Wild shot, tries to follow it up, and Caldwell has the loose ball. Baseline jumper is good, and it's Bowling Green in front, 48-45. And Florida Gulf Coast wants to talk things over. 30-second timeout. Rod Caldwell becoming the first player in tonight's game to reach double figures. And Bowling Green defense tonight has gotten stronger as this game has gone on. The Florida Gulf Coast, with their length, they've of course been very effective down low. You saw the block there from Doyle.
And Florida Gulf Coast about halfway through the first half at a 13-point lead.
The block in transition, then Turner to the basket. A blocking foul was called. And Dylan Fry, another blocking foul there. It's a call we've seen quite often tonight. It has frustrated both teams, but it is being called both ways. Johnson, good look to Terrell, gathers and finishes. Back to a one-point game. Turner. And it drops, finishing against contact. Scott trying to back his way in against the freshman. Now Doyle. The up and under, no good. And the outlet to Turner. And tried to save it. Back comes Goodwin. And Goodwin finds Scott in traffic and just threw it up. 3 substitutions ready for the Eagles.
And look at Florida Gulf Coast struggles in the paint in the start of this half. That's their strength usually, is their points in the paint.
Koch inside to Gatson, who lost it. And unfortunate there for the Falcons as Mercurius, Thomas, and Christian Carlisle will check in. It's definitely been a nice start to this second half for Bowling Green. The question is, can they maintain it? As Nellie Cummings checks in for Rod Caldwell. Don't expect Caldwell to be on the bench too long with the production that he has had offensively tonight. Bowling Green's leading scorer, the game's leading scorer. Three-pointer, not even close. Here's Cummings. Turner, three. Short. And loose ball, Johnson. Zach Johnson just came flying in there to get that loose ball. And we have our first media timeout. Rod Caldwell trying to lead the way, doing it with the assist there to DiMaggio Wiggins. Bowling Green 50, Florida Gulf Coast 47, with just over 4 minutes gone by in this second half. And Bowling Green, over the last 14 minutes, has outscored the Eagles 35-19. It's the Eagles basketball out of the timeout as Johnson drives. Now Thomas once in the post, well defended by Wiggins, not making it an easy entry pass. To the basket, Terrell. Good strong finish, 1 point game. Christian Terrell, also a deadly three-point shooter, made 53 threes last season.
Bowling Green outscoring Florida Gulf Coast 10-6 so far in the second half.
Wiggins, right hand, hook, no. Eagles trying to retake the lead. They led for the entire first half, and Johnson, no good. And Bowling Green, the entire team crashed there on the boards. Wiggins back to Fry. Now Koch wants it. Cross court, Turner, three-pointer. Yes, sir! Turner now up to 13 points. Bowling Green now 4 of 12 from long range. As Carlisle drives, Turner got a hand on it, and it's 3-on-1 the other way. Turner again off the mark, and Terrell has the rebound. Cross court, Johnson. And into the hands of Thomas. DiMaggio Wiggins went down. Still a long way to go in this ball game.
Got 3 double-digit scores now for Bowling Green. Wiggins, Caldwell, and Turner.
And Dylan Fry, the reverse. Just took what the defense gave him. That was pretty. Daquan Plowden ready to check in for Bowling Green. We've got Goodwin and Doyle there for the Eagles. And Bowling Green has just picked up the team foul. Hoping we'll see it one more time before the night is done, but have to get another look at the Daquan Plowden dunk just before the end of the first half. That was a highlight reel dunk.
That was what got the crowd on their feet and into it. And that was what ultimately gave Bowling Green the momentum going into the half, was that dunk.
Carlisle hangs and no good. Took a while for that ball to come down, and Bowling Green has it. See if the Falcons can extend their lead. As Cummings trying to go baseline. Finds Plowden, baseline jumper, no. And Goodwin soars in for the rebound. Terrell up top, short, and Plowden the rebound. Fry bumped by Carlisle. That will be Carlisle's second personal. One more look. Dylan Fry just drawing the contact.
We turn it, that will be bringing it in.
Dylan Fry is so dangerous with the way he can pull up in transition and knock down three, and then he has that quickness to go right by the defense. And this time he tried to find Wiggins. Wiggins had it stripped, but Terrell was out of bounds. Wiggins goes to the basket there with two hands. He might have been able to finish. Now hands it off to Cummings. Shot clock winding down. Fry, pump fake, tried to slip it inside. It's a turnover. Here's Goodwin. And a blocking foul called against Fry. That will be his second personal. Now Goodwin will step to the line. On the night, he is 3 of 4. Right now with 9 points, trying to be the first Florida Gulf Coast player to reach double figures. And unsuccessful there. Zach Johnson back in. Zach Johnson in the season opener against Illinois State finished with 27 points. And Goodwin now into double figures and a one-possession ball game. Cummings, nice finish. Another assist for Dylan Fry. And the three-pointer for Mercurius. Mercurius now 3 of 5 from downtown.
Bowling Green's been able to get a good handful of points in the paint here in the second half.
Fry to Wiggins. No good. Follows it up and puts it home.
A little bit of contact there, but it didn't matter.
Corner three. And Terrell. Eagles starting to find the range.
Starting to get into their groove in the three-point game. Didn't have a whole lot of success in the first half.
Cummings, wild shot. Eagles can go back in front. Johnson just never had the handle. And that will be Bowling Green basketball when we return. 59-58 your score. Bowling Green in front.
Or for 4 in the first half on free throws.
He's also got 8 rebounds tonight, and there's his first miss. Mercurius to the bench. And 1 for 2 for Derek Koch. He's up to 7 points on the night. 4-point game inside of 9 minutes to play. Goodwin off the screen from Doyle. Turner took away the driving lane. Inside of 10 on the shot clock. Goodwin going to work. Step back. Short. Bowling Green will live with that shot. The outlet to Wiggins. And it's going to be an offensive foul. Goodwin took the charge. And for Wiggins, that's going to be his third personal.
Bowling Green's bench taking issue with that one. So is the crowd here.
The tough part for Bowling Green has been just finding consistent possessions. Yes, they've got the lead, and they've had the lead for a good part of this second half, but they need to find a way to extend this lead. Inside, Simmons double teamed. Corner three. Goodwin no good, and Wiggins. The referee's going to get together on this. Sideline referee called it against Wiggins. Referee on the baseline saying it's going the other way. They will work to get this sorted out, and we'll have it for you when we come back. Florida Gulf Coast, nice assist from Goodwin to Doyle for the flush. Florida Gulf Coast, the defending Atlantic Sun regular season champs and two-time defending tournament champs. Eagles trailing by 4 with less than 8 minutes to play in this ball game. Just before the break, the officials did get the call sorted out. It was a foul on the floor called against DiMaggio Wiggins. Bowling Green with 16 fouls, Florida Gulf Coast at 5, as Doyle goes to work against Koch. And no good with the left hand. Simmons, offensive board, and the putback. The two towers in there coming up big tonight. Turner weaves his way through the defense and will head to the line.
Florida Gulf Coast now with 13 turnovers compared to Bowling Green's 9.
And we pointed out earlier, in the last game for Florida Gulf Coast, they had 21 turnovers against Siena. It was not a close ball game in that one, but still not a number that Coach Joe Dooley would be happy with.
And Bowling Green's been able to cash in on double-digit points on those turnovers tonight.
And Turner 2 for 2 to get it back to a 2-possession game. Justin Turner in double figures for the second time in 3 opportunities this season. Doyle down the lane. Here's Fox, corner 3. Matt Fox, no good. And Plowden tried to come on the backside. And the lob. Not sure who Johnson was trying to connect with there because Terrell was not even thinking a dunk there. As Jeffrey Uju checks in. So now for Bowling Green, you've got Uju, Turner, Koch, Fry, and Cummings. And for Florida Gulf Coast, it's Goodwin, Johnson, Terrell, Doyle, and Simmons.
Florida Gulf Coast with 18 bench points tonight.
Cummings just inside the arc. Nelly Cummings, 7 points off the bench. Florida Gulf Coast with the advantage in bench points, 18-14. Here's Goodwin on the wing. He'll fire the 3. Off the iron, Turner the rebound. Fry inside. Uju left hand, no. The tip wouldn't go for Koch. Eagles in transition. Less than 6 to play. Terrell out to Goodwin. He'll try another 3. This time it's good. For Goodwin, he's now 1 of 5 from long range on the night. He came into this game at just 1 of 7. Turner, contact, and he will go to the line.
Turner just 1 for 2 in the first half on the free throw line.
He's 3 of 4 for the game. Justin Turner, 17 points to lead all scores.
Justin Turner from Renaissance High School in Detroit, Michigan.
No good on the first as Mercurius returns, and so will Matt Fox. One for two in a 2-point game. Goodwin. And an offensive foul away from the basketball. Florida Gulf Coast now 18 fouls compared to 6 for Bowling Green. Bowling Green's been stuck on 16 fouls for a while. Cummings. Now Fry, guarded by Terrell. It's Koch against Simmons. Koch lost it. Mercurius comes away with it. Goodwin, short. And the follow-up. Goodwin to the line.
Granted, Goodwin was 0 for 2 in the first half on the free throws.
And with that make, he is 5 of 5 in the second half. Chance to tie up this game. And he does. We are even at 71 with 4:36 remaining.
First time in a while we've been even.
Great ball game here on ESPN. Florida Gulf Coast led the entire first half. Bowling Green came out and took the early lead in the second half at 44-43. Cummings on the drive, short. He tried to avoid contact there with Terrell. Inside Simmons against Koch. Johnson had it stripped. Great defense by Bowling Green.
1-on-2.
Now Turner, and a blocking foul is called. I think the Falcons a little bit fortunate there as Turner lost his footing and now he comes up limping. We have our final media timeout. Bowling Green and Florida Gulf Coast even at 71. Goodwin not going away. Three-pointer there, his first of the night. Then Turner to Cummings, just inside the arc. The largest lead in this ball game for Florida Gulf Coast was 13. Bowling Green, their largest lead was 5. We are all even at 71 with less than 4 to play. Justin Turner at the line adds to his game high with 19 points now.
Florida Gulf Coast with 42 points in the paint tonight. Bowling Green has 30.
2 for 2. Defense chant from the Bowling Green faithful as Johnson drives. Terrell three, yes. Christian Terrell made 53 threes last season. He entered this season 8th in Florida Gulf Coast program history in three-pointers made. Caldwell over to Fry. Thought about the three. Now it's Koch, baseline, no. And nearly tipped in by Simmons, then Koch tips it in. The reaction there from Derek Koch kind of said it all afterwards. He doesn't feel he can be stopped inside. Bowling Green by 1. Mercurius. No good. That would have been his 4th three. And a loose ball, still loose. And Dylan Fry is fouled. And Bowling Green will be in the double bonus the rest of the way.
Crowd nearing its loudest that they've been tonight.
Dylan Fry, 5 of 6 at the free throw line tonight. He is 3 points away from becoming the 4th Falcon to reach double figures. The first for Fry. Nothing but the bottom. A make here, and it's still a one-possession game. 77-74, less than 3 to play. The Eagles can go to Goodwin, they can go to Terrell, Mercurius, or Johnson for a three-point look if they want to. Johnson comes up short on the runner.
Florida Gulf Coast has had 16 turnovers so far in this game. Bowling Green with just 11.
Fox over to Caldwell. Caldwell 11 points tonight. And through the hands of Turner. It's a Bowling Green turnover. Gotta execute down the stretch in a tight ball game. That turnover is a little bit careless.
Especially against this opponent.
See, Bowling Green, 11 turnovers compared to 16 for Florida Gulf Coast. And off the iron, long rebound. Koch tracks it down. That rebound makes it a double-digit rebounding effort for Derek Koch.
Inside 2 minutes to go.
Caldwell off the screen.
Be critical here for Bowling Green to get a double-digit lead.
Koch against Johnson.
Double possession, rather.
Had the size advantage and came up short. Here's Goodwin at the other end. No, it wouldn't drop. And Bowling Green basketball as Doyle couldn't hold on to it. The help side defense there as Koch was a little bit late getting back. Looked like Matt Fox stepped in to help his teammate out. Fry, three-pointer. That's huge. Bowling Green by 6.
Upset alert, ladies and gentlemen.
Bowling Green trying to hand Florida Gulf Coast their first loss of the season and snap the 10-game road winning streak for the Eagles. It's Goodwin to the basket, and he'll shoot 2. He thought he should have had and one there, just missed laying it home.
That three-pointer there was the loudest the crowd has been all night.
That was the first three-pointer made by Dylan Fry tonight, coming off that 5 for 10 performance against South Dakota.
7 for 14 coming into this game tonight. Finally able to get his three-pointer abilities on display here in critical time here for the Falcons.
Off the assist from Matt Fox. Big free throws now for Brandon Goodwin.
Falcon bench on their feet, along with a good portion of this crowd here.
Goodwin 6 of 8 on the night. Make that 7 of 9. As Christian Carlisle checks in for Ricky Doyle.
Florida Gulf Coast with 2 timeouts remaining.
Four-point game, 80-76 your score, less than a minute to play. Full court pressure. Caldwell. Fox up ahead, Turner. Finds Fry. The lob. Koch couldn't hold on to it. That would have taken the roof off this place. And at the other end, it's a layup for Terrell. A 4-point swing. 43 seconds remaining. 80-78 your score. Bowling Green trying to make it 2-0 all time against the Eagles. And we're going to send it down to Caden Albanese.
Gulf Coast University has donation centers at all their home basketball games after the wake of Hurricane Irma. At these centers, you can donate non-perishable food items, clothes, bottled water, first aid supplies, anything to help out the victims of Hurricane Irma. They also raise funds and donate to the FGCU food shelter, which helps feed students there who can't afford to feed themselves. It's a good cause. To learn more, use hashtag #FeedFGCU on your favorite social media site.
All right, thank you, Caden. Bowling Green basketball out on the baseline. As Fox looks to inbound, he finds Turner. About a 12-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Florida Gulf Coast not going to push for a foul here.
They just need the stop.
13 on the shot clock.
Fry with the basketball. Now Turner. And Justin Turner. And it's going to be an offensive foul. The referees looking at one another. Took a little bit of time for that call. And now Florida Gulf Coast can tie or take the lead with a three. "19 seconds remaining."
What a game.
Coming down to the wire. Goodwin has the basketball. Cross midcourt. Brandon Goodwin to the basket, short. Koch the rebound. And Derek Koch will head to the line. 10 seconds remaining. Brandon Goodwin got the look I think he wanted there, just left it short. And Koch on the night, 5 of 6 at the free throw line. One more point, and he would be the 5th Bowling Green player to reach double figures, and he would have his second double-double.
Not sure Bowling Green would rather have anybody else at the free throw line at this point.
Big moment here for the freshman, to say the least. Looking through the numbers, Bowling Green has shot 40% from the field tonight compared to 42% for Florida Gulf Coast. The Falcons 5 of 14 from long range. The Eagles at just 6 of 23. Free throws, Bowling Green has shot 14 more free throws. That's huge when you're on your home court.
And Bowling Green's been able to get 32 points in the paint tonight.
Turnovers tonight, 14 for Bowling Green, 16 for Florida Gulf Coast. And blocks, Bowling Green with 4, Florida Gulf Coast with 5. Now can Derek Koch make this a 2-possession game? And no good on the first. Still, this second free throw huge. At least try and make it a 3-point game.
Florida Gulf Coast with 1 timeout remaining.
And 0 for 2. Less than 10 seconds to play. Florida Gulf Coast can win it here. Instead, Johnson to the basket. He is fouled. And 2 free throws. We could be looking at overtime. Smart play there by Johnson, just attacking the basket.
And you can bet that this student section will be at its loudest for these 3 free throws.
Johnson on the night, 2 for 2. 6 points in the ball game. Calmly knocks down the first. Preseason all-conference selection. Definitely one of the guys that Florida Gulf Coast was excited to have back. And he has just tied up this ball game at 80. And a timeout, Bowling Green. 5.3 seconds remaining. It is a full timeout. We'll take it with them. Back in a moment here on ESPN.
Soar. Push past status quo. Break the ceiling. Go far.
5.3 seconds remaining. Bowling Green. Can they get the job done here on their home floor? Pick up their second win of the season and their second win all time against Florida Gulf Coast. We'll see who the Falcons come out with. We get a look at some of the highlights from DiMaggio Wiggins in this one. Had the hook shot going early. Inside working against Simmons.
Zach Johnson coming up clutch with those free throws.
Now Matt Fox to inbound. He finds Dylan Fry. He's across midcourt. Dylan Fry, three-pointer for the win. Yes! 0.2 seconds remaining. And Dylan Fry with the dagger.
We talked about Zach Fry in the pregame, about his three-point ability, and right when they needed it.
Dylan Fry, his second three-pointer of the night. He's now up to 15 points in this ball game, and Bowling Green 0.2 of a second away from what would be a huge victory here in the Bill Frack Challenge.
He had nothing but the net.
Florida Gulf Coast about to drop their first game of the season and have their 10-game road winning streak come to an end.
Second longest road winning streak in the country behind Gonzaga.
Terrell to inbound. And Florida Gulf Coast will call their final timeout. Not even an attempt there from Terrell. Immediately looked to the bench. I think Florida Gulf Coast just wanted to see what Bowling Green was going to come out with.
Looks like they added 0.7 of a second to the clock.
And that's huge. At least Florida Gulf Coast can get a shot off now. And that basket from Dylan Fry was the first Bowling Green basket in 1 minute and 12 seconds.
Dylan Fry with only one three-point hit before that one.
And that was the last Bowling Green basket before that one. The first three of the night for Dylan Fry rattled home. Just got the friendly roll on the home court. The second, it was nothing but the bottom.
In the most critical of timing.
A couple of back-to-back strong performances from Dylan Fry when it counted. Second half, he was strong against South Dakota. Tonight, he really struggled throughout the first half, but he knocked down the shots when they've counted.
Dylan Fry, the Florida guy, knocks it down for the tiebreaker.
Bowling Green faithful on their feet. Terrell to inbound. 0.9 seconds left. The baseball pass through the hands of Goodwin. And that is going to be it, I believe. Florida Gulf Coast wanted a foul.
That's it.
83-80 the final. Bowling Green moves to 2-1 thanks to that shot from Dylan Fry. And we'll be back here on ESPN. Welcome back to the Stroh Center, and one more look at the game winner from Dylan Fry. The three-pointer, his second of the night. And the Falcons win this one by a final score of 83-80. Dylan Fry struggled most of the night, but came through in the clutch, something that he kind of lives for.
Yeah, he did, man. He came up huge with a huge shot. He struggled a little bit today. Also, the kid's dealing with some tragedies. One of his best friends down in Florida, unfortunately, was killed. He's really struggled this week, but I got to think his friend was looking over him tonight with that special shot there.
Yeah, that moment is definitely going to help, as I'm joined now by Bowling Green assistant coach Anthony Stacy. And you go through this ball game, yes, struggles throughout this ball game. Florida Gulf Coast, a very good team coming in with a lot of accolades, and they were looking for their first win against this Bowling Green program. Talk about the fact that your team just didn't quit tonight.
Yeah, we played an excellent opponent. They obviously went to the NCAA tournament. Veteran guards, three great guards that just continue to drive the ball. But just so proud of our guys. We never gave up. We stuck together. We never got down on each other. And I think the last game we tried to maybe come back all at one time. And this time we just chipped away at the lead and we stayed at it. And good things happen when you do that.
Early on, a lot of high percentage looks for Florida Gulf Coast down low. What defensive adjustments did you make to tighten up the paint?
Yeah, we switched our defense up a little bit in the second half as far as post, and we decided to trap a little bit. And we also decided to play behind instead of so high up because they kept pushing us up the lane and getting lobs. But, hey, our bigs did a good job too. It was a great team effort. I'm just really excited, man.
You've got a couple of young point guards in Nelly Cummings and Rod Caldwell. That combination tonight, both of those players producing.
Yeah, both of them played well tonight. And, it's one of those things where both of them are just thrown in the fire. And, Rod's got a little bit more experience, but I thought Nelly did a good job tonight. And so did Rod. They're just two guys that are, really, really tough guys that live for these moments. And this is what you want as a player when you love these type of games and this type of atmosphere. And it's a special night. It's a good night for us.
This was the fourth edition of the Bill Frack Challenge. And year in and year out, you bring in some very stiff competition. Last year, it was multiple games against UMKC, Green Bay, and Murray State. Now you bring in Florida Gulf Coast. Love to have this challenge every year.
Yeah, Bill Frack is obviously very special to our program. I can remember when I played, he traveled with us. So I've known Bill for a long time, unfortunately passed away a few years ago. But he's done so much for the program, and he's really invested in our program to bring games like this and to bring tournaments like we did last year and play Cincinnati and those things. And I think it's great for our program. It's great for our city,
Former Bowling Green player, now assistant coach Anthony Stacy, thanks for your time.
Good seeing you, brother.
And we'll be back in a moment here on ESPN. Come away with a huge early season victory over Florida Gulf Coast, 83-80 the final. Bowling Green now 2-0 all time against Florida Gulf Coast.
What a basketball game here tonight, bouncing off of that tough loss to South Dakota.
You look at the final numbers from this game. Bowling Green shoots just over 40% from the field. They improved on their field goal shooting throughout the game. Florida Gulf Coast maintained a pretty consistent effort from the field. Bowling Green, that's huge to see the advantage on the glass, 46-42 with the size that this Florida Gulf Coast team came in with. The Falcons finished the night shooting 40% from long range. Free throws, Bowling Green dominated that area tonight.
That was a difference maker for this game, as tight as it was, and Florida Gulf Coast known for their points in the paint. Bowling Green was able to get their points in the paint tonight as well.
And Bowling Green finishes with 4 players in double figures tonight, led by Justin Turner with 20 points. DiMaggio Wiggins finished with 14 points and 7 rebounds. And Dylan Fry, 15 points and 6 rebounds for him. Rod Caldwell, 11 points for the starting point guard. And for Florida Gulf Coast, they had just 2 players in double figures tonight. Terrell with 18 points and Brandon Goodwin finished with 17, so definitely a more balanced effort tonight for Bowling Green over Florida Gulf Coast. And now a look ahead for the Falcons after this big victory here in the Bill Frack Challenge. Bowling Green will now get ready for Lake Erie College next. That will be another non-conference game coming up this Monday. It'll be followed up by USC Upstate and then on the road at Campbell. Then on November 26th, home versus Abilene Christian. And then the final game in November will be right here at home against San Jose State. So, Adam Gaw, I got to ask you this. You've been a part of some pretty big games here at Bowling Green. It's definitely a great effort tonight from the Falcons.
Brad, it's been a pleasure to watch a great game of basketball right down to the wire. And right when Fry needed to come clutch, he absolutely did.
Dylan Fry coming through when it mattered. 2 huge threes in the final minutes of play, and Bowling Green is going to walk away with an 83-80 victory over Florida Gulf Coast. That will do it for this broadcast. For my partner and Bowling Green student, Adam Gaw, and also Caden Albanese, our sideline reporter, I'm Brad Woznicki saying so long from the Stroh Center. To watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.